Most of the time in WWE games, being a good player can lead to being rewarded, whether it's being given an in-game currency, unlocking certain unlockables, or earning achievements and trophies for winning matches or progressing through certain modes. There is, however, some rare times that WWE games don't respond too kindly to you being such a good player. There has been some moments where a few different difficulty curves have been thrown out there to make your gameplay experience more of a punishing one. These are the times when WWE games punish you for being good at their games. But before we get to that, I want to talk about Warhammer Chaos and Conquest, as it's a sponsor of today's video. Warhammer Chaos and Conquest is a real-time, massively multiplayer strategy game where players compete for resources and battle for control of the old world. In Warhammer Chaos and Conquest, you play as the bad guys, with you being able to build up and command an enormous Chaos army that can wipe out the other Chaos warbands that stand in your way. And as we all know already, it's fun playing as the bad guys. And with enough power, you can eventually become the ever-chosen of Chaos. And along with all that, it features absolutely stunning 2D and 3D art. Once you've downloaded Warhammer Chaos and Conquest, look for my alliance under the tag TGG and join up to the best alliance in the history of Warhammer Chaos and Conquest. So make sure to go to the link in the description, click the link and download Warhammer Chaos and Conquest today. Interferences during matches that you are dominating is most likely the longest running punishment for being a good player in WWE games ever. If you've played a WWE game before, you've most likely seen an interference during a match. Sometimes it's not in your favour, with sometimes the interference even going in your favour because you're the one taking the big beating. But in this case, I'm talking about the ones you're probably more used to, and that's interferences against you. We've all had the same scenario. A match is going so easy for you, almost too easy. You're just about to put the final beating on your opponent, and then out of nowhere, the music of a rival or an ally of the superstar you're beating up plays.
Look, charging the ring. This isn't good.
Now the match turns into an impromptu handicap match, giving your opponent a little bit of hope that they can turn this match around. It's fair to say that most of us players can avoid this situation well by just fighting back. No, of course not. I actually meant to say just to run off and wait for the interferee to just walk away. But over the years, the developers have wised up to our cowardly tactics and have incorporated much more sudden interferences, like the Undertaker's in recent WWE games for example. He just appears behind you with no warning, tombstones you and disappears, making that one-sided match not so one-sided anymore. Now it is true that you can just turn off interferences in the settings, which will make the punishment never even happen in your WWE game. But where's the fun in that?
Saxton.
Alright Undertaker, this is the last straw. You've interfered in too many of my matches now. Another way WWE games tried to punish you for being a good player was just to throw you in another match right away, because if it doesn't work the first time, why not try it all over again and see if it works this time. You could find moments like this in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain season mode when you go up against Mr. McMahon. During this storyline you'll be put in a cage match against one of Vince's allies, and in that cage match, once you've climbed out the cage, you probably thought at the time that the match is over and it's on to the next week. But no, a cutscene plays out with you both leaving the cage at the exact same time. Looking at that, I'm going to have to say that this was a pretty bad call from the ref. Anyway, all of this leads to the cage match being restarted. Only this time, there's a bit of a change. You'll have full body yellow damage just to punish you that little bit more. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011's Universe mode also has these kind of like Vince moments where he would come out to the stage after you win a match and say, "Did you forget about your other opponent?" He actually even said it like that.
This match isn't over yet. Did you forget about your other opponent? Now ring the bell.
I mean, it's hard to forget when this moment seemed to happen like all the time in Universe mode. It was like you had beaten everyone on the roster. You think it's all over forever. And then, did you forget about your other opponent? Vince, it seems that you've forgotten I've beaten everyone. Leave me alone already. There is no other opponents. Sometimes, throwing out the extra difficulty curve was just not enough for WWE games to punish good players. In WrestleMania 2000's Road to WrestleMania mode, you'll have an opportunity for the WWE title at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Win that title and keep on defending it until you reach February as the champion, and you will be rewarded, or should I say punished, with a special, not so great cutscene. After one of your matches on Raw, you will see Mr. McMahon and The Undertaker making their way to the ring. Vince pretty much explains that he doesn't want you as a champion anymore, so you're going to be stripped of the title and it's going to be given to The Undertaker instead. All of this just because WrestleMania 2000 itself couldn't fairly take the title from you, because you just had to keep on winning and defending that title. It's not all bad, however, as if you had won the Royal Rumble match, you'll get your revenge on The Undertaker at WrestleMania to end the story mode. Titles being unfairly taken from you is not something unique to just WrestleMania 2000. SmackDown vs. Raw 2008's 24/7 mode had a storyline that punished you just for being a great player that wants to hold more than one title. In this storyline, you are currently holding either one of the world titles for SmackDown or Raw, and you will receive a challenge from the other brand's world champions.
Who in the hell let these riffraffs in? He even brought the ECW champ. This might turn ugly fast.
No, no, no. We're just here to offer a little challenge. Since ECW is the most dominant brand of sports ever,
It's Mr. McMahon and the WWE champ.
Let me remind you that you are standing in my ring. That makes this ground zero, mister. But you know, your boldness has sparked in me a wonderful idea for Survivor Series. Now the main event will be a triple threat match between the WWE, World Heavyweight, and ECW champions.
This all leads to a match at the Survivor Series pay-per-view to show who is the most dominant champion out of SmackDown, Raw and ECW. Every championship is on the line in this match, with only the loser being the one to actually lose their world championship to the winner of the match. When you win either of the titles, in my case it was either winning the WWE title or ECW title, you'll be punished for holding two world titles and see one of two different scenarios play out. If you was to win the WWE title, you'll be told to vacate one of the world titles, undoing all that hard work you put into becoming a double world champion. Or if you win the ECW title, you will be automatically stripped of the ECW title. In this scenario, you are actually promised that you will be rewarded for being stripped of your world championship. What could it actually be? A pay rise, nice. So I guess it's not all bad. We've approved a salary bonus for you in the amount of $1. Keep up the good work. Sincerely, WWE office. Screw this, where's the option to go to AEW? There's even some WWE games that have just had enough of you being a good player, and instead of trying to take things from you or bumping up the difficulty to try and get you to lose, they put you into an unwinnable match instead. Because what else is more of a guaranteed punishment than putting you into a match that no matter what you do in the match, the result is already set, and it's with your character most likely being in a lot of pain and your unbeatable opponent celebrating their guaranteed victory. There's two moments of this happening in WWE games, and one of those times was in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. During one of the matches on a Raw show, a post-match beatdown takes place with your character running out to save the day, but it all fails with your character being taken out also. This leads to your current rival coming down to the ring and starting your planned match right there and then, and all you can do is just watch the cutscene as your character loses 1, 2, 3. And on top of all that, and probably worst of all, you lose 4 superstar points for losing an unwinnable match. The other time is in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 season mode during the ECW takeover storyline. At the No Way Out pay-per-view, you're up against RVD in a TLC match for the WWE title. Once you climb up the ladder and reach for the title, a cutscene will play out with Chris Jericho pushing you off the ladder and helping RVD win.
Jericho, no! This can't be happening!
I don't know what he's doing here, but there's no disqualifications in a TLC match. This is all legal.
No, not like this! Not like this!
He did it. RVD's still the ECW champion.
This is a disgrace. This is a slap in the face to all of sports entertainment. What the hell is Chris Jericho doing out here? He's another Raw superstar with absolutely no business involving himself in SmackDown affairs or in a WWE title match.
So that's the end of today's video, and before I end this video, I just want...
This match isn't over yet. Did you forget about your other opponent? Now ring the bell.
Go away, leave me alone, there is no other opponent. Anyway, if there are any other moments where you the player got punished in WWE games just for being a good player, let me know in the comments, and if there are enough moments, there is a possibility I could do a part 2 to this video. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like it and subscribe with notifications turned on if you have not done so already. Also, I've never really plugged it in a video before, but I'm also on Twitter at ThisGenGamingYT. So make sure to follow me so you don't miss out on your 1 or 2 random tweets a month like this one. Thanks again as always for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.